It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 12th day of May, 2020. I'm coming to you from Forest, Virginia and Central Virginia, right outside of Lynchburg and Bedford County, on a rather cool morning. Hopefully the last cold weather night was last night. It got down in the 30s again. A little cool start to the day, but the temperature is supposed to drastically go up. We're supposed to get into the mid 80s in the next couple days and maybe 90 by the first of the week. So some hot weather is coming. As a matter of fact, the pool guys were outside early this morning doing prep work on my pool renovation. They've already put the framework in for the steps, but they had to bring a load of gravel to fill up the steps with gravel, and they got the rest of the old liner out and did some work on the plumbing, piping, and stuff. It's over my head. So anyway, but they've been here working. They need 3 days of the temperature above 70 to do the liner properly. So they're hoping that that weather will cooperate over these next 4 or 5 days, and they'll get in here next week and actually get the pool up and going again. So that will be great. If you're new to this channel, welcome aboard. We regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry on this channel, plus do some interviews called Chillie Chats, and of course travel and cruise industry news, which is held Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock. I've got, this is almost like an old-fashioned news show today. I got a bunch of stories to go over, but before we get to that, I've got to make mention of something. A lot of you know that I am a co-host of a show that generates from London, England, on Sundays with Cruises for Solos. This past Sunday, we had our friend Emma Latisse was our guest, and Pete and John and I interviewed Emma. We had a fabulous show on Sunday. If you missed it, it was really great. Of course, Emma was fabulous as always. But what really surprised me was the audience that we're drawing for that show. We had folks in the audience from South Africa, from Norway. There was 3 separate people from Italy, from Germany, from Denmark, of course, a lot from the British Isles, which you would expect between Pete and Emma. Of course, a lot from the States, a lot from Canada. It's just one from St. Petersburg, Russia. It's really getting quite a worldwide audience. So that was neat. But the reason I mention it is this coming Sunday, the one coming up, our guest on that show, the Cruises for Solo show from London, will be Jeff Stevenson, who's a comedian who has toured with the likes of Johnny Mathis, the Drifters, and Barry Manilow. He also has a long list of acting credits that go way back to Alan Parker's Bugsy Malone movie. Stevenson also has performed at sea on cruise ships for Cunard, P&O, Princess Azamara, Seabourn, Crystal, Holland America, and Viking. So the 3 amigos, that's me, Pete, and John, on Cruises for Solos, will interview Jeff Stevenson on Sunday, and that'll be at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So that would be 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time, which is John's time, and 8 p.m. England time. So another big interview coming up on the Cruises for Solo show this coming Sunday. Now on back to our purpose for being here. The travel and cruise industry. And I'm going to get right at it because I got a whole bunch of stuff to go over this morning. A disturbance near the Bahamas could strengthen into the season's first tropical system. Yeah, folks, that's what I said. The first tropical system. The atmosphere over the eastern United States will shift gears from a weather pattern that favored out-of-season cold and snow to one that yields summer-like warmth and even a potential for early tropical activity over the Atlantic, despite the official start of the season being the Atlantic hurricane season being several weeks away. So this puppy is actually out over the what could develop. Now it's not developed into that yet, folks, but it is over the Bahamas, and it may strengthen. Now it's not probably not going to affect this on land unless Florida might get some hours off, but supposed to move off to the northeast. But we're actually getting an early look at maybe what this season's going to be like with the season's first, possibly the season's first tropical system. And yes, folks, I agree. That sucks. Excuse my French. French, whatever we're going to call that. So that is going on right now out in the Bahamas. Okay, next thing is the Allure of the Seas is finally on its way to Cadiz, Spain for its dry dock. You might recall it was supposed to be in the dry dock a bunch some time ago, and it got delayed due to the whole health situation and shutdown in Europe and all those kind of things, which forced, of course, Royal Caribbean to postpone the work, which was actually supposed to start, I believe, in March. But it's, of course, all the Spanish ports were closed. The amplification aspect of the work to be done is still being finalized, and Royal Caribbean will communicate an update when a plan is in place. But it's not likely that they're going to do anywhere near what they had originally planned on doing for a lot of reasons, one of which is money, obviously, because the cruise lines, even though they've been able to come up with some financing, are still hurting for money. Royal Caribbean has indicated that it's identified approximately $3 billion and 1.4 billion of capital expenditure reductions in 2020 and 21 to help them out of the situation they're in. The planned upgrades for Allure of the Seas included the Ultimate Abyss, the tallest slide in the at sea, the Perfect Storm trio of water slides, completely redesigned adventure oceans, kids space, and teen spaces, the first Giovanni's Italian kitchen and wine bar, and a musical toward Spain to get this thing started. All right, a sad note. Chillie's Cruises has learned that a couple days ago, Carnival cruise line crew member who was heading home as part of the repatriation, anyway, that word, can't get it out this morning, passed away earlier this week, which is already a difficult time for many members of the Carnival cruise line family. The extended Carnival family becomes even more distraught over this one. Sadly, they said in a statement, we can confirm the death of a male team member who was in a guest status on the Carnival Breeze repatriation sailing to Europe. A spokesman for the company said his death is not related to COVID-19, but out of respect for his family, Carnival will not be providing any additional details. I will point out that it was reported by some other sources that this was a suicide, but Carnival did not report that. It came from other sources. It's sad in that over the past couple weeks, there have been several deaths among crew members. There was a Princess cruise line member that went overboard about, 10 days or 2 weeks ago. There was a Royal Caribbean crew member that went overboard. So there have been some, sad things happening amongst the cruise ships of recent time. On a more positive note, did any of you guys, and I already asked Tom about this, see the new sailings from Norwegian? They've announced a slate of new sailings departing between 2021 and 2023. Included among the new sailings are a trip to over 20 new destinations around the world. While the company says that they will resume operations in July, we all know that that's still up in the air. But these new sailings will give those who'd rather wait a while before cruising again something to look forward to. So all kinds of new sailings, new places to go on Norwegian. And by the way, folks, I've decided I'm going to quit fussing about Norwegian. I did not hit the window that they said that I had to, the time limit they gave for one to request a refund, because at the time I was going to be happy with the credits. I changed my mind after that, tried to get a refund processed, and they said, no, we're not going to back it up. So, yeah, I was a little angry about it at first. I'm going to quit worrying about it. Go on and, at some point in time, we'll cruise again. Not sure when that'll be, but Norwegian's got some pretty cool stuff coming up. You might want to look back in some of the things that my conversation in the comment section with Tom. Our friend Tom has already booked several cruises, replacing ones that he's canceled on Norwegian. But they're adding some of the new things. They'll sail out of Rio in March of, I think that's in March of 2022. But anyway, becoming the first in the Norwegian fleet to visit Fortaleza and Salvador de Bahia, Brazil, on a 15-day itinerary. July of 2022, the Star will make the brand's debut in Greenland via 2 sailings out of Reykjavik, Iceland. The Norwegian Jade will also do a first for the line sailing when she does round-trip voyages out of Cape Town, South Africa. The trips will be 12-day extraordinary journey sailings in December of 2021 and January of 2022. The Sun will make her Asian debut in November of 2021, becoming the first ship in the fleet to visit such ports as Nagoya, Beppu, and Hameju, Japan, Manila, and Coron in the Philippines. And I probably am slaughtering all those words because they're way over my head and experience. But so Norwegian's got some neat stuff coming ahead. And again, I'm going to quit fussing about Norwegian. If they decide not to give me the money back, that's fine. I'll use it up sometime when we can go cruising again, which I still don't think is going to happen anytime soon, but let's hope. Let's hope that I'm totally wrong about that one. All right, going to pause real quickly for my commercial word from Scoot Around, and I'll be back shortly. Do you have a bad back, bad hips, bad knees, or any other mobility issues? Think about Scoot Around. for scooters, walkers, wheelchairs, even oxygen needs, delivered right to your cabin. Scoot around for all your mobility needs on your upcoming cruise. Oh yeah, I need to get up and do-si-do around my desk or something. So anyway, scoot around. They're good folks. I use them. Bonnie, my friend Bonnie, and I don't know if Bonnie's here this morning. Let's go over and check some comments before I hit the last couple of stories. Let's back up here to Tom Henry. Of course, I mentioned that he and I were talking about cruises that he's got booked. There's several comments up there from Tom on cruises that he's got hooked up with Norwegian. He wants to know when is RC Royal Caribbean going to cancel his July 3rd cruise. He will take a refund on, don't plan on future Royal Caribbean rebooking. That's interesting. Don't blame you there. And I have no idea. I'm not sure why the companies are dragging their feet on this, other than they just trying to save money as long as they can. Tom said he would love to have Royal Caribbean cancel quickly, then he would book on the Sun for the same date. Norwegian, he would love to use the 125%. Don't blame you there. Conchita says, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Conchita. Glad to have you with us today. Gretchen's here. Good morning, Gretchen. Amy's here. It's always good to see you, Amy. And there's our buddy Jason up in Pittsburgh. Jason that loves Carnival cruises. He's up in Pittsburgh. He wants to go on sail on Carnival as soon as possible. I agree. What can I say? I hope it's sooner rather than later. Jason says he watched some of the Cruising for Solo's interview with Emma. Yeah, that was such fun. Of course, I love Emma to death to start with, and she and I have developed quite a friendship, and we chat privately a lot about what's going on in the cruise world and so forth. But it's always fun to do an interview with her. She's so easy to interview because you just throw anything up. I didn't have to do any homework because she and I can chat about anything forever. But it was a fun interview to do. I hope the interview this weekend with Jeff Stevenson is equally as easy, but since I don't know him personally myself, Pete does. But since I don't know him, I'll have to do a little homework on that one. Emily's with us from up in New York. I hope you're getting some warm weather up there in the next couple days, Emily. I know it's been kind of nipply up there lately. Emily says, good morning to everybody. I'm hoping the weather continues to improve here. Jason asked, where are the kittens? Well, I don't know. Amanda, my niece, is waiting to hear from the folks to make sure everything went according to plan yesterday. I guess the kittens, they're 8 weeks old, and before you can adopt them, they do the surgery and stuff. I don't Amanda's taking care of it. She's the pet sitter person, and she's going to pick them up. I know we sent her when she went to the grocery store yesterday. She brought kitten supplies in. So it's supposed to be sometime today. So hopefully by Thursday we'll have kittens to make an appearance on the show, as my plan at least. All right. I've got a couple more stories to get to this morning, folks. You may or may not have heard about this because this was a couple days ago. We keep talking about the schedule and when we're going to cruise again and stuff. And here's one of the reasons why I feel reasonably sure that they're not going to start cruising as quickly as the cruise lines have been saying, specifically Carnival saying that they're going to start in August. Grand Cayman has extended their date of shutdown, of keeping Grand Cayman shut down until September 1st. So ships cannot go into Grand Cayman until at least September 1st. And that affects several cruise lines. Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, Disney all go into Grand Cayman. So that's going to affect any of those cruise lines that are planning on starting to sail in August. It ain't going to happen. So, and there's no guarantee that that doesn't get extended again. Folks, a lot of this is going to determine how these openings go. And one of the things that kind of scares me about the openings happened in Spain. That's a picture of one of the testing sites in Spain, or not in Spain, in Germany. And they had just started opening up Germany, and the infections are rising again. And it's just days after literally Germany eased its lockdown restrictions. So they're looking now at some of the things they were planning on opening. They're going to have to back off on and let this thing recycle again. And you know, it's just, you can't rush this cotton picking COVID-19. This thing is going to do what it wants to do, no matter what our government and everybody wants to do with the economy. And it just scares the bejesus out of me that we're doing it too fast. And I am the first one. I am not disagreeing with the need for getting the economy going again. I mean, I'm a businessman. I've been a businessman all my life. I understand what this is doing to the economy. I understand what it's done to my retirement investments. So I completely agree we need to get the economy up and going. But we got to get rid of this sucker first, or we got to at least bridge over until the time when we can get a vaccine that'll take care of it or something. And I'm afraid, you know, we're jumping too quickly. You know, one of the three of the states that are pushing the opening beyond the guidelines set out by the CDC and the Trump administration on how to open. This was before the president started really pushing opening. You know, those last guidelines, he said, was one of the things was 14 days of declining numbers. Then you can start opening after 14 days of declining numbers. And several of the states have ignored that and are opening anyway, with numbers still going up. We had a significant spike in 3 states over the weekend: Florida, Texas, and Illinois, all that were pushing the envelope on opening. And they've had significant increases in the number of new infections. So, folks, I mean, I want to get the things going as much as anybody, but we've got to do this smartly and not stupidly. And I think pushing it too quickly is going to grab us in the behind before it's over with. One other thing to report this morning: AMA Waterways, that's a river cruise line. And again, folks, you guys know I am not a river cruise person. I know very little about river cruises. But the award-winning cruise line AMA Waterways is giving medical professionals, first responders, and essential service employees a complimentary river cruise as a gesture of the cruise line's heartfelt appreciation for the selfless sacrifices made by so many in these unprecedented times. My hat's off to AMA Waterways. I know nothing about the company. But tip of the hat, I guess I could get that out the picture off the way. And I tip my hat to AMA Waterways. Fabulous gesture. And again, right now, if I was looking to go on a river cruise, first place I'd want to look is AMA Waterways, just because of what they're doing. So pass that along for what it's worth. All right, let's go back and check, see if we got any new comments. Tom Henry says, I am just unhappy the sun is going to Asian. I want her in Port Canaveral. I enjoyed the sun so much. That was just a perfect ship for me. I said maybe I'll have to go to Asia and get on the sun sometime if it's going to stay. I don't know how long it's going to stay over there, but it's going to be there for a while. But anyway, Jason said, where are the kittens? Emily says hello. Amy says, do you realize there is still not a vaccine for HIV and AIDS after 20 years? People shouldn't assume that finding a vaccine is automatic. Yeah, that's very true, Amy. We can just hope that times are a little different now. This is affecting, infinitely more people than anybody expected. And I think there's been a great deal more push for this than we ever had back in the days of HIV and AIDS. But you're right. They've never come up with a vaccine for that. And who knows if they will for this or not. We can only hope that they will. And hope that they come up with a good safety net on getting us back to cruising again sooner rather than later. Okay, Emily says, in your opinion, do you think cruising will be 2021 or 2022? My best guess, and it's purely a guess and a gut level guess, Emily, is that we'll see cruising in 2021. I don't think it's going to carry all the way to 2022. Some of the people I talk with disagree with me. And there are a number of people and influencers out there that still are holding out hopes that we'll see cruising this year. I'm afraid it's not going to happen. I'm not entirely sure we're going to be back to the point of where you want to get on an airplane. Plus, enough people want to get on cruise ships. Right now, there's a major block of the populace that wants to do neither, get on airplanes or get on cruise ships. So I'm mightily afraid that we're going to go into next year. That's my opinion. Again, and I'm no expert. I'm just going on gut level thought and reading tea leaves. So that's my thought on that. All right, guys, that's going to pretty much wrap me up today. Hope you've enjoyed the show. As always, I want all of you guys to stay safe. If you go out, please wear your mask. I keep mine handy in case something comes up that I have to go out. I do have to go out today. I have to go to see the oral surgeon on the spike coming out of my jaw, the bone spur or whatever it is. So this is I get to go out of the house again today. So I'll be the second time I've been out of the house. So, out of where I get in the truck and leave the property. Don't do that. I haven't done that very much. So anyway, I'm off to see the oral surgeon later on today to see what they want to do with this silly thing, which is all I can call it. So anyway, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, be good, and be good to each other. And I'll see everybody on Thursday. Thanks for being with me. This is the old fat travel guy. Later, y'all.
Thank you for watching today's travel and cruise industry news. Join us every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern for another episode. Travel and Cruise Industry News is a production of Chillie's Cruises.